you're talking about DAS. That was the last thing we were talking about. Should we just go ahead and start there?
Sure.
Now I can't hear you. Okay, so I
Oh.
I did see that picture of that lady who so I saw she posted it yesterday in some of the Disney groups, and so I just was curious. I'm like, why, they denied, all she put was that picture, and they denied me. That's all she put. So then of course the comments are going off, and I'm just kind of like, who is this girl? Okay, so I'm not saying anything good about it. I'm just telling you what I saw. So I clicked on her profile, as you do, and I just started looking through stuff. That's a trach tube. That's a trach tube, right? So she does need it to breathe every once in a while and to talk. So she has that. Obviously, she's in a wheelchair because she had GBS, which is Guillain-Barré syndrome, right? So her body was paralyzed. So and you can see it. You can see the after effects of GBS in the picture that she posted. That's kind of some long lasting effects. But in her pictures and stuff, that kind of went through. And she did a TED talk too that I kind of watched most of. She had that. She is capable. She doesn't need the trach tube all the time. It looks like she's capable of standing every once in a while. Probably not for long periods of time, but she can stand. So I just wonder if that's why she was denied. I don't know. I don't know the full story, but there's a little bit more context there rather than just this picture of a person with a trach tube in a wheelchair and just like, I got denied. Not that she shouldn't have it. I'm not saying that. I just say, like, let me give it some context. Like, in a wheelchair, like I said with DCA, you can get through all the lines at DCA. I don't know how the tube comes into play necessarily.
There are a lot of disabilities where people are unable to stand in one spot or in a hot line for long periods of time, regardless of whether or not it's accessible. So I don't know the specifics of her disability and what that looks like for her, but the idea of a DOS pass isn't just like, are you in a wheelchair? Is it accessible to the wheelchair? Okay, peace. A lot of it is, are you able to stand in a line for a long period of time or be in your wheelchair in a line for a long period of time? Because, sometimes these lines get really long. And then the option that Disney is offering, and this is where I'm like, thanks, capitalism, but it's to buy Genie Plus. And as that woman points out, if I buy Genie Plus for my party every time we come, that's hundreds of dollars. And that doesn't always work. And so that's the situation that I think Disney needs to figure out, is the fine line of, oh, well, you're in a wheelchair, so you could just wait in an accessible line or meet your party later, which we all know is a hot mess. Like, that is a S show waiting to happen. So I think that Disney needs to figure it out. And I also really hope that all those TikTokers who talked about how to cheat the frickin' system are proud of themselves, because they're a huge reason why Disney had to start doing this.
I mean, yeah, they're the ones you should be blaming. I mean, yes, Disneyland is capitalist pig, but no, it is definitely the influencers that you should be blaming, not particularly Disney, because it's going to happen. I mean, we don't even know if this woman's real. It could be yet another person trying to scam the system, but you have to take everything. You have to take everything at face value. You have to take everything at face value,
which is why I went and checked out like her background to give it some context. Because what's going to happen with this poor girl is she's going to become the poster child for this. Yeah. She's going to become the poster child for a certain Gothic person who's just going to go off and go crazy with this kind of stuff, because the vision of it is like, it's so powerful. And I don't know that she's necessarily meant to do that, but it's a powerful visual. And so she's going to become a poster child for this, whether she kind of wanted it or not. And again, I'm not saying anything good or bad about her. I looked into her, and it all looks legit, but according to their rules,
a great solution and compromise. She's very problem and solution based. If you watch the entire video that she put out, she says, hey, Disney, I have a compromise. What if for a flat fee, those of us who get denied DOS can buy a disabled lightning lane package? where it's X amount of dollars on top of it for whatever. Now, again, we can all have that conversation of like, well, what does that look like? How do we know if she's denied for this or that? But it was an interesting solution to have a conversation as opposed to just nothing, like some kind of like packaged lightning lane deal. But
problem with that is that you're going to have the same problem as anywhere else has with a package. With anything that costs money is that it favors people. It favors the rich.
Yeah, favors people with money.
It doesn't really favor the people who are disabled, because those people might possibly just be on disability or some sort of fixed income anyways. So it doesn't favor them. It favors people that are rich, and who's going to be able to buy that package? Not those people that it's supposed to be supposedly made for. It's going to be the rich people buying it. So I don't know if that's the answer either. There is no real answer. The answer was screwed up because people abuse the system. There is no answer to fixing it.
And walking up and being like, I have anxiety, I need a DOS pass, which we know is what a lot of people did, just totally screwed the people over who were genuinely using this in a way that it was intended. Like when you have to wait in tight spaces, there are rides I won't go on because I don't want to wait in that line. I will not go on Indiana Jones. First off, the ride is meh, in my opinion anyway, but I'm not waiting in that line. It's long, it's dark. If that line is more than, 20 minutes, I'm not going on because I get claustrophobic. So I'm just going to remove myself from that situation. But if I had DOS just for that, like, oh, here's your one ride, you get this, it would help me, and maybe I would ride it more. But for me, I'm just like, man, I'm not gonna go in there because I don't like the way it makes me feel. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, there are times I've gotten stopped in that line, and I'm just like, ooh, it's a little tight in here.
What they need is that thing in Japan, that thing that Japan has going, where you can buy the priority for one ride. It's like getting a fast pass, but you go on the app and you buy it, and you get basically a fast pass for rides. They're using it right now for Fantasy Springs, I believe. You could buy like priority access.
Oh, Knott's Berry Farm.
That sounds like Universal.
Ride.
Yeah, Knott's Berry Farm does that too. But get this, Knott's Berry Farm, if you're their premier pass holder now, you get one fast pass like per month or per visit or per something, but you get one. Here you go, have fast pass.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself. And it's like, oh, what a perk. And Disney, I like Disney. Obviously, I go there a lot. I enjoy it. I think it's great. It's my happy place. But they're starting to they really need to remember that while they're trying to keep shareholders busy in their bottom line, they need to remember that the guest experience is what keeps people coming back. And there are a lot of people who are like, you know what? This no longer is worth it to me, which is great. That's fine. Stay out of the park so I have more, less people in there. But at the same time, Disney, you're going to have to, you're only going to screw up your bottom line more. The whole 100%. Lovely part of Disney was having you wait an hour for a 30-second ride and make it magical enough that you got back in it. And
I think it's funny that in the last two episodes, both Gina and I have had to preface statements by saying that we love Disney, but Dan, I guess you have to make sure you have something to say next episode, but you have to preface it by saying that you love Disney, but...
All right, keep that in mind.
Because do you remember I said I did the same exact thing last episode?
Or no, how about this? I learned this in my master's program. I love Disney, and I would really love to see them make our experiences magical again.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. It's not an easy solution. Everybody talks about. I just said Universal. Everybody talks about Universal and the way they handle, theirs with showing the proof and stuff. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to figure out what they want. Well, you got to provide proof. Well, I don't have to. Yeah. No, you don't have to. And then you also don't have to get this. So, I mean, can't have the cake, you need it too.
Like if Disney's gonna be the bad guy, just go all in.
Yeah.
I mean, twirl the mustache, be the villain.
Right?
I think Disney also, like, another thing you're hearing the same it's a similar conversation, is the quote unquote therapy dogs that people are dragging to the park, and it's like this angry Pomeranian on a scooter, and you're like, baby, I don't know what therapy that dog is providing, but an emotional support animal is not a therapy dog. And it's really like, that's a whole nother thing that's happening. And it's like, people don't realize that if you don't have a legitimate therapy dog, if you don't have a legitimate disability, you are screwing it up for everyone who does. And the absolute selfishness of some is where I'm like, really? Do we have to have another empathy lesson? You all are the same ones who want to get rid of SEL in school. I think we need to have some more emotional learning for you.
I used to be a heavy smoker, but when in the 90s when I would go to Disneyland, I wouldn't smoke because I had respect for the park. I had respect for everything the park stood for. I didn't want to contribute to what everybody else, any the dirt anyone else was providing. I wanted to be respectful. These people are not respectful. There's nothing respectful about it. Most of the people that go to Disneyland now. There's nothing respectful about the way that Disneyland even carries themselves now. I was actually shocked to see a picture somebody took of on Donald's birthday of the bronze Donald that's up in the hub, and that it actually looked like that they had actually made an effort to polish those recently. I was shocked because for the last 10 years, those statues up there had looked just like shit. Because I know I've probably ranted about the stupid freaking bronze statues before and how they haven't been taken care of and how we had those things looking magnificent for the 50th anniversary back in 2005. Everything was so sparkling. Brand new paint, brand new bronze polishing. I spent an hour polishing one of those bronzes one night. Anyways, that's beside the point. But it's just like the Disney doesn't respect the parks. The guests don't respect the parks. The pass holders, the fans don't respect the parks. It's like nobody likes Disney. Star Wars is constantly getting shit on. Marvel hasn't been shit on recently because they haven't had anything to be shit on. X-Men 97 was actually pretty good and didn't really had some haters, but the next Marvel thing comes out, I'm sure there'll be people shitting on that too. It's fashionable to shit on things that are Disney right now.
That is the key. 100%.
It's fashionable.
Yeah, it kind of is right
now. I think the problem, there's a huge issue with Disney right now too, and the fact that Disney and the people who work for Disney are kind of at odds. There's some union issues, some negotiations that are falling through, and the workers are saying like Disney's not really operating in good faith. And like, if you're struggling at your job, if you don't feel valued, if you don't feel that management is working with you and they're working against you, that you go to work with that feeling. And that's going to kind of show. And a huge part of Disney was the fact that the CMs were taken care of. They were happy. They wanted to be there. They were magical. And like, if you feel like your employer just feels you're replaceable, that's going to weigh on you. And that's going to carry over too. And that's going to affect the experience. And it's like, it just feels like right now Disney is trying to like figure itself out, post reopening after the vid. And so I don't know what the answer is, but I wasn't a pass holder before, like before they re-released them, the keys. I wasn't a pass holder for 10 years before that. So I don't remember 2019, 18, 17 because I wasn't at Disney, so I can't really speak to that. But I'm going back to like the mid tens. What are we calling that?
Yeah, the teens, I guess.
The aughts.
No, I can't complete with it. Yeah, the aughts. I think it's the 10. So I think it's the tens. I think it's the 2010s. Yeah.
Oh my God, isn't that weird? Anyway, yeah. So like I can speak to right around 2010 to like that era. I think I quit being a pass holder or a pass holder in like maybe 2012-ish. So it had been like 10 years. So I don't know. Maybe you guys can speak on that, but I feel like they're struggling right now to figure it out.
I think it's fashionable to blame this, but I think there's nothing. Chopek. Chopek is the things started to be really stupid at Disneyland at the end of his term at Disneyland, and then he moves into the CEO. He moves into Iger's role, and just everything goes to fuck. Everything just turns to shit for Disney. I mean, things had been working that way. Things had started to be not great, but under Chopek, everything, just the stuff with DeSantis started. The whole rumors about everything with Disneyland and grooming and underground tunnels and kidnaps and all of that bullshit seemed to start around that same time too. All of it just seems to and then the movies and woke and DEI and just started all just stacking on top of it, and it all just seemed to, I mean, not DEI, but everything under Chopek was just the shit just kept stacking, and then by then it was like and then Iger comes back and it's just like he's just neck deep in this shit that Chopek got Disney into. Mm-hmm. And it's like you just can't unbury yourself with that, but just it's magic isn't real, Bob. The magic's not real, Bob.
Oh yeah, remember like he came in and it was like, oh my God, Jesus has returned. And that's not, it's not how it,
you just can't undo all of everything, all of the bad faith that Disney has. It's like we talked about this a couple episodes ago about Disneyland there's a lot of bad faith about Disney going back many years now, and it's gonna be, I don't know if it could ever be fixed. Just like the country, I don't know if it could never be fixed. Because it's all of that bad faith towards Disney is coming from the same side.
Yeah,
I don't know. I was at Disney and there were a whole lot of Walt Rights, so I think that there's a lot of talking, and they're still going.
Oh well, that. They're the same people that complained week after week after month about Star Wars, but yet they still freaking watch it.
Yeah, we'll get to that too.
Hey, they weren't at Pride Night because Pride Night was amazing.
I'm sure it was.
I wish Disney had a Pride Night once a month. I'd go.
I wish every sports team and in Disney and all the places had Pride Night all the time, just so to keep all the shitty people away. Or unless, don't even get me started. Then the sports teams that are starting to act like it's fashionable do not celebrate Pride.
Right? Yeah. But it was so much fun. It was like there was a party, everybody was happy, there was no like negativity. Like that's the Disney we all want. I just want you to know. That's the Disney we need. Whoever put on Pride Night needs to be in charge.
So there's your transition. Tell us about it.
So I went to Pride Night on the 20th. I went to the second one. And it was...
How many were there?
There were 2.
Okay.
Last year there was 1, and it was so popular that they brought 2, and they sold out. They were both sold out events. We chose to go to the second one for a few reasons. One of them being we thought there would be less influencers there. We were right. There were much less. But we went there, and it was so, people were already nice. Like there were so many people who got there early. We went to Carthay. There was a whole group next to us, just making it a thing. And I guess like this group next to us was saying that in the past they had all gone to gay days together, but now that they do a Pride Night, now they made it a whole event. So they got a hotel, they met other friends, they were all super cool. Everybody was happy. They were friendly. The minute it started at 9 p.m., immediately lights on Main Street, music, glitter. It was fabulous. I did not wait for any of the special photo ops because that wasn't my thing for the night. I just kind of stayed away, but the lines moved really quick from what we could see. They had some really fun ones. Did not really eat any food. I think we ate like some kind of like maybe it was a tater tot thing from Red Rose Tavern just as a snack, but we really stayed away from like the special foods. But just the vibe of being there, walking around, being on Main Street, the cavalcade, 12 out of 10. The performers brought their A game. They were there, like it was their night. Clarabelle ate, as the kids say, and left
I've
no
seen the
crumbs.
Clarabelle video. I think everybody has seen the Clarabelle video.
The Clarabelle video. It was so good. So did Dan. I gave him the footage, but
Yeah,
it
and we were some of the earliest ones, and they still didn't take off like some of the other ones.
Yes.
You know what actually makes me mad?
Comment.
You know what actually makes me mad? It makes me mad when we come up with something and we think it's funny, and then we do decent, and then somebody has like 24 followers, and theirs is the one that blows up. Like, really? I'm like, what? Okay, that's the thing that irritates me. But anyway.
Yeah, the cavalcade was great. I don't like fireworks. I don't really like how loud they are, but I stood back on Main Street because I really wanted to see them. And they were really good. They were the same as last year. So if you saw them last year or you heard, but they have the whole they have like a whole, or it's really good songs that they kind of mix up. And the fireworks are short but good, which they didn't have for Star Wars night, but they had for Pride night, which is interesting.
I was just gonna say that. We didn't have the Star Wars night.
Yeah, no for Star Wars, but Pride night got them. And then it was just different dance parties. I'm sorry, but if you love raves, like I felt like it was the 90s all over again. I told Aaron, I go, man, I need a glow stick and some pacifiers over here. Over on Rivers of America, they had like the electronica ravey music with fog machines and glow sticks, and then they had music over by in the normal spot in Tomorrowland, and then they had Main Street. Not a lot. There were some rides that weren't open, which I thought was interesting that they didn't keep Mickey and Minnie's closed down, that never reopened after the fireworks, and so that was interesting. But yeah, it was great. It was one of the most fun after dark events that I have been to. So it was a really good time. If they do it again next year, I'm definitely getting tickets again. Like, that's how much fun I had.
Does that lead us into the latest After Dark event that just went on sale? And
yeah, let's do it.
Oogie Boogie Bash. So there's one extra night this year, right? There was one extra night this year. I don't know how
many there are. Two.
I don't know. I had never had any intention of going.
Same.
Did it once when it was at Disneyland. Kids were little, ton of candy. It was cool, but then like for me, it was always a price thing. Like I'm not paying for one, I'm paying for 3 or 4. So, in addition to already having a pass, never really saw the value in that. So that's why for so many years it didn't do any of the After Dark things. If I sound congested, it's because I am. By the way, I don't think I mentioned that when I actually started recording. Yeah, I'm a little under the weather. Anyway, so they did the thing. Now I've been watching this and I've been talking to Diggs the last couple of days. I don't even know what day it is. That's how you know I'm a teacher and sick. I have no idea what day it is. Tuesday went on sale for Inspire Keys, limited pre-sale, right? And as expected, it sold out within 2 hours. Like the quote unquote allotment for that day had sold out. Okay, so the next day, it was for all keys, and within again about 2 hours, it sold out. Okay, so today, as we're recording, today was the general on sale, and as of right now, I believe I can actually go on and still get tickets for maybe except 3 or 4 dates. It's still on sale. So Anthony can quote this. Back in the old days, what was it, about 2 weeks to sell out?
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
went from 2 weeks
sometimes.
into that 1 year where it just was like it's sold out in 2 days, and then everything since has been it sells out basically day of.
Well, even then, it wouldn't even be all of it would sell out. It would go on sale, and then maybe by uh, July, maybe Halloween or some days around Halloween, some of the Saturdays and stuff would start selling out. But there'd still be like weekdays available all the way until into August.
Yeah.
So
What
I'm
days are sold
right
out so far?
so
I think the
right
first
now,
night, is it the first
yeah.
night?
So as of right now, the nights that are sold out, this is at what, not even 4 o'clock on Thursday. Sold out is the first night, and then so
Which
it's
is what?
August the 25th. August 25th is sold
Okay,
out.
that answers my
August
question.
27th
It's
is still
finally
there
reached
though.
August.
Still out 27th.
Yeah. So Diggs, I think it was sold out, and he got in with the Inspire key one, and he was going to go the first night, and it was sold out. So I think rather than risk a D23, he just decided to get the second night. So he's going to go the second night. But then everything opened up. Everything opened up again. Now this is a couple different thoughts that I have here. Is one, how do you pull this off but not D23? Because I don't get that. How does this work for you but not D23 when this is supposed to
D23
be,
is 3 days. This is many days.
I
Yeah,
guess, as
it's
one thing,
sold
but even the way the tickets are sold.
days. So many days. Halloween starts August 25th. By the time it's Halloween, I'm over Halloween. Like it feels like they're turning the castle with snow halfway through their Halloween season.
Well, they've always been doing
That's always
that.
been a thing, though.
But that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like it's like
This
there's
is
so
the first year that it's restarted in August, right? I believe
yeah,
so.
Yes. Yeah, I
Okay,
think
because
here
so.
I've been
in
waiting for this for a
Florida it
long
starts
time
in
because
August and or July.
I, I've been waiting for this day for a long time
No, I've got you.
uh,
Go ahead and finish your thought, and then I got you. Okay.
because Not So Scary Halloween has started in August for many years ago. Not So Scary in Florida started in August, but Disneyland had always kind of not quite gotten that far. They had always gotten to about that first or second week in September, and they kind of just hovered there of the start of Oogie Boogie Bash. And I had always waited until when they were like, okay, screw it, we're starting in August, just like
It
they
was
did in
always after Labor
Florida.
Day. It was
Yeah,
always
it was
about a week
always at
after
least
Labor
after
Day.
Labor Day, but
Yeah.
I
Okay.
knew one day that they wouldn't be able to resist being just like Florida and starting in August. And here we
Well,
are.
it's been
Here we
coming
are.
for at least 2 years, because was it 2 years ago that I made that TikTok about it being August and them having all the Halloween merchandise in the stores already, and they had
Right.
the core was starting to go up.
There was
Now
a
it wasn't
Halloween
done. The
shirt.
pumpkin wasn't there. It
There
was a
was a
Halloween
Halloween
show already.
shirt now
Oh
already.
yeah. No, I was
The
gonna say
car
that.
Halloween shirt already.
Yeah,
It's June.
merchandise is already out because you get it, put it out. It's
Not to
gonna sell.
mention, can we mention that halfway to Christmas,
We'll get there
going on?
because Gina's got. Yeah, she'll talk about that in a few. But no, it's been
No, don't
coming.
even
Not
show me that.
not
I
long.
want it. I want it. I
Just
want one of those.
I
um.
have to
Boys,
send you one.
my boys.
Anyway, yeah, you're right. It's been coming. You know what's gonna happen. It is my question. Why did this not sell out first day? Well, we don't know that for sure yet because it's only 4 o'clock. But presumably, it's probably not going to be today. When
So as of
it
right
was
now,
a
I'll just
cluster.
tell you how many dates are available. One in August, 7 dates available in September, and 4 dates available in October.
So do you think this is? Do you think they upped their capacity?
No,
I'll tell
I
you
mean they
that,
don't need to. They just need to add more dates.
but I'll tell you, Aaron and I had that conversation at Pride Night because there were a lot of people there, and the wait times for the rides were actually pretty long for an after dark event. Space Mountain was only short during the cavalcade and the fireworks. Other than that, it was like a solid 40-minute wait for Space Mountain. The whole night.
Would you put it past them to do that?
No, I wouldn't.
To up the capacity, because think about it.
Yeah.
Now they're never going to tell us the capacity, but what was our always estimated capacity? Somewhere around 20,000 for an After Dark event, or 25,000, something like that. If you bump that to 35 to 40 compared to a regular busy day at Disneyland, you wouldn't notice that.
Has Galaxy's Edge been, or not? Well, because where's Oogie Boogie? That's at DCA?
That's at DCA, yeah.
Has that included all of the areas every year?
So Star Wars Night they always shut Galaxy's Edge, Rise always shuts down at its normal time. It's never really open past 10 p.m. And that's
I meant
the way that it has to calibrate staff.
If Oogie Boogie is at DCA, has all of DCA been available during
I think
Oogie
so.
Boogie?
I think
and I assume that the year that when Avengers Academy was closed, I assume it wasn't included those years, which would have lowered capacity. But I'm just wondering if there's been any changes that would have upped capacity. But if the answer is no, then there's nothing. They can't really up capacity unless they're choosing to up capacity, which is going to just make it more crowded at any particular nights.
That's fine, because why would you not? Why would you not? It doesn't have to be 10,000. If it's 5,000 to 7,000 per night, how many nights they're doing it, that allows that many more people to get tickets, leading to a situation like we're seeing, where it doesn't sell out the first day, but they're still making a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
Giving the illusion of something.
Well, yeah, of course, they don't care how many people are standing in line for photo ops at on a Oogie Boogie Bash.
Matters not to them.
And it's been well documented by a lot of like the vloggers and just people who've gone. You cannot do everything you want to do at these nights anymore. That just doesn't exist. So you're going to have to prioritize. Do you want to do rides? Do you want to do photo ops? Do you want to do foods? Do you want to do the show? Like, what is it you want to do? And it's like, that shouldn't happen. The whole point of an After Dark event is supposed to be lower people so that you could do all the stuff you want to do. And you shouldn't have to prioritize like, well, I really never come to Disney, so I'm buying this After Dark event and I would really love to ride Space Mountain. But out of it, this event, like for Pride Night, it was only from 9 to 1. So I'm going to spend 40 minutes in line for a ride when there's all this other stuff to do. It's like, what? The whole point was to have short lines. You can, let's hit up Space Mountain on our way to the next thing. And it's like, the lines for Oogie Boogie are, I've not gone. I just watch live streams or see vlogs, and I am flabbergasted by the wait time for some of the character meet and greets. And now they just do the pass through, where it's like a continuous line where you just keep walking and then you stand in front of the character and smile and then you keep walking. Mm-hmm. And there's not even like a real interaction.
Because the ones with the real interaction, I'm not kidding you when I say this,
hours.
They were 2 to 3 hours.
Yes.
They were 2 to 3 hours for a character interaction.
Your comment in a nutshell is the problem with you can't think that you can go to one of these special nights, whether it's Oogie Boogie Bash or whether it's a specific night thing, and expect to have a regular park experience.
No.
That's not what they're for.
No.
They're for you to have that experience. They're not for you to go there and go on rides. People that are going on rides are the people that are going there expecting not to have those experiences because they just want to go on rides.
Right, and the wait times for the rides were still very long. Like, we went on, like, Pirates was a walk-on, but, like, the other rides weren't. Big Thunder was, like, 30 minutes. That's a long time to wait for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad when you're at a special After Dark event. That's a long time.
I wouldn't wait that.
No, not for that. We didn't.
I think for Big Thunder Mountain, I think 30 minutes sounds like nothing, but...
No, it doesn't. It doesn't if I'm going to go tomorrow. It doesn't if I'm going to go tomorrow just because I have an Inspire Pass and get on the ride. At 10 p.m.
You're never going to get on it at well, maybe at 10 p.m., but
Yeah,
you're never going to get 30 minutes going on a regular day.
but every time I get on that, it's always at a certain before closing.
I mean,
At
my
11,
question,
11 o'clock at
my
night,
point
that's when
was
I'm
is
checking
that
it.
you're not going if you're going to the special night,
I understand your point.
you're going there to do
Yes.
either you're going there to stand in line for the photo ops and to get your special merchandise and your other special things, or you're going there to take advantage of those shorter lines than you would on a normal day. Because
So
30
last
minutes,
year,
no matter how you look at it, is still better than whatever you're going to get on a
50
normal
to
day.
80. Yeah.
But you
right?
already know.
Well,
But
right,
then,
that's
but if you're
45.
paying that much extra to do that, then I don't know what the point is, unless you're someone that doesn't have a pass. If you're
Right.
somebody
Yeah.
that has a pass,
It's not
you
worth
are
it to you.
most
But
certainly
now
paying the
these,
extra money not to go on the rides. You're doing it to stand in line for photo ops, and you're doing it to get merchandise.
well, but now these events are almost as much as a day pass, so you may as well go to a day
Exactly.
pass.
Exactly.
But
That's
my,
my point. This point I've been
yeah,
making for years, ever since the event started going above $120. I've been making that point, right, Dan?
Yep.
they're quite expensive. Well, so last year, Dan and I have a friend
I don't
that we
even know
work
if I want to know how much they are now. I would probably throw up.
I will not make you vomit, sir. Um, but last year my friend went to Oogie Boogie Bash, and because they love Halloween, that's their thing. She had to start prioritizing between meet and greets because she realized that she couldn't get to all the meet and greets she wanted because the lines were so long. That should not happen. Like if she's like, okay, we're only doing meet and greets, that's it. We grabbed a snack, we got a granola bar, that's it. Let's do it. We're in it to win it.
I remember
So then
one
she
year.
starts scrolling the meet and greets, and she can't even get to all of them. That is
Right.
ridiculous.
I remember one year, not even Oogie Boogie Bash. This was the old just Mickey's Halloween party that was pre-COVID. They had a bunch of villains out that they don't usually have out.
Mm-hmm.
There was Prince John. I just about fainted because I had never seen Prince John in person before as a character. It's Robin Hood. I love Robin Hood. I wanted to do it, but the line was ridiculous. I'm a reasonable person. I'm a person who looks at a long line. I'm like, well, that's a long line. I'm not going to stand in the line for that long just to meet a character. When just a couple of years ago, there was an AP, there was AP events going on at Starcade where I could get into a maybe a 20-minute line and take pictures with characters. You remember those, Dan?
I do because you were saying that, and it reminded me that actually you said Mickey's Halloween party, and it reminded me that that's what I'd taken my kids to. Was not Oogie
Yeah, I
Boogie Bash.
figured
That
that's
wasn't
what
the
you were
thing.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
But
I went to, and it was so much fun.
well, doing that,
The
who I met as characters.
great.
I
Yeah.
walked up to take a picture with
Yes.
Jack and Sally. Like walk up. You can't even do that
Yeah.
at a regular park
Do that.
now.
No, those
No.
when they were doing those little
Wait,
AP.
how long did we wait when we did it, Gina? Because we did it when we went. 30 minutes,
We
maybe?
we waited like 30, 35 minutes, and we got there early.
Yeah.
We happened to get there like super early, and we were able to wait in line. But yeah, it was a long wait, and the line was so much longer when we left.
But
That line
even,
was at 45 minutes or more.
yeah, so did it at the Halloween party, and I think I may have done it before then too. Like just when they were characters kind of out where that mausoleum was on the side, right there where they used to do the fast passes, they were doing it over there, and I think I barely had any wait. When they first introduced him as a character, as like, oh, he's gonna be like a
Yeah, I
hidden
remember
character,
when
all
he
that.
was over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
So
people discovered it, and then
and then
the
it
line
blew up.
started getting super stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of when
And
it
then
was.
they moved them over there by next to near Pirates. Remember after that?
In between the two stores.
Yeah, in between
Yeah,
Pieces of Eight and the other store.
that's actually where they're at now.
Oh right.
There.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're still there.
yeah, that's a full-time setup actually.
Oh right.
That's
Okay.
a full-time setup as
Yeah,
a
where those
backdrop.
stairs are.
Yeah,
Right.
full-time setup as a backdrop, and that's where those go. So that setup is always there because I think their characters out. I think every day, but only during the daytime. Those are characters that don't come out at night, which is stupid to me too. But okay. But anyway, no, yeah, that's just you just have to plan it out and do it. And I'm to the point where I don't think I'm going to do it. I would never do Oogie Boogie Bash. and I'm doubting myself for Star Wars for next year. So
we chose not to go to Star Wars this year and go to Pride Night instead. And Aaron even said, and Aaron loves Star Wars more than anything. Like,
oh, I know.
he loves
Trust
it.
me, I know.
He likes, I know you do. He even likes the newer stuff that's being released. Like, he's cool with it. He's fine with that. And he
Because
said
he's not a crazy person.
he had more fun at Pride Night than he did at Star Wars Night, and he thought it was a better experience. And I would go again to Pride Night because it was just like a really fun party until they screw that up too. But I asked him, I said, are you regretting not going to Star Wars Night? He's like, I'm really not. He's like, I'm really upset that they did all that. They did more for Pixar Fest than they did for Star Wars, and they tried to have like a whole Star Wars thing. He's like, no, he's like, I don't think I'll ever go back to that. Like, go to another After Dark like that.
Yeah, merch was a whole other thing because let's see, and that's the next thing that we see is we're going to see how this merch for Oogie Boogie Bash works out, because like for the Star Wars nights, by the time I went, which I think was the last one, it was pretty much gone. Merch was pretty much gone. Oogie Boogie Bash was famous for them putting it out prior to the event starting. So basically anyone could get in line and get the merch that was supposed to be exclusive to that. So let's just see, because I don't know. I'll stand on the hill that says I think they increased capacity, which is why so many people got it. And then we'll see how this merch happens. Now, Gina had mentioned something. Listen, we'll just touch upon this very briefly. Had said that like, oh, there's a lot of hating on Oogie Boogie Bash. Now, I did see that too. I saw a lot of people online because people were asking like, is it worth it? And there was a lot of people that said, your answer is no, it's not. It's not worth it for what you're getting out of it. $40 for you can buy all that candy for $40 at the store. That's a freaking lie too. That's a lie. That's not $40 worth of candy. But you're looking at about $60 to $70 worth of candy.
Okay, but the candy you're paying $140 for a ticket.
Yeah,
I'm not paying $140 in candy.
No, but like you could spend half of that and get the amount of candy.
I mean, the biggest thing is I don't understand how. I mean, I know the answer is because they're Disney, but because they're Disney isn't really an. I don't know how because they're Disney is still an answer, even though that's the answer. Is how the hell are they getting away with paying or charging as much as they do and having Oogie Boogie Bash be what it is when you have Knott's doing what they do for Not Scary for Haunt, Universal always upping their game for what they do for Halloween Horror Nights, and then Magic Mountain been doing what they've been doing for years and even also upping their game for what they do for Halloween. How do you have those three things that are direct competitors doing so much more? And yet, I know what you're going to say. It's because because you can't take kids to those events.
No, that's not.
But what the hell is there really for the kids to do at Oogie Boogie Bash? Oh, the candy. That's not a thing for the kids to do. That's the kids.
And the costumes.
That's you taking the kids to give them candy while you enjoy what's going on. That's not the kids enjoying Oogie Boogie Bash, because there's nothing for the kids to do at Oogie Boogie Bash.
You can't act like the other three don't have their problems at Halloween, because they do. Universal is a mess when it comes to that, and Universal.
I didn't say that they weren't.
Universal's plan.
I'm talking
Universal's
about price.
plan is to. That's the same thing, because that's what it costs to go. It costs the same. You're on par with cost.
Yeah, but you're so much more to do because you have all of those mazes. Yes, I know that the mazes are really long lines, and you at most can probably only do 2 mazes if you go to one of those things. I've seen the videos, Dan. I know. I'm ready with your answers whenever you go to bring them. But you're still getting a better experience. And even if you go in 2 mazes, and maybe a ride that's still more of an experience than you would have had going to Oogie Boogie Bash, because at most you would have done maybe two photo ops and then a ride. So which would you rather have?
Well, I think that
photo
goes
ops in
back
a
to
ride or 2 mazes in a ride.
It goes back to what you put in the group chat of it depends how if you see the value in it.
The perception. Yeah, no, you're right. It is. It's if you see the value in it. That's right. That's what I said, and I maintain that. If to you it's more worth it to pay the price to go to Disneyland. But the thing is how many people are going to Disneyland just because? Well, I mean, if you take away all the influencers, Gina.
Well, here's the thing. I think a lot of people make Halloween their personality.
Well, you know that.
It's very, I'm a witchy girly or whatever. And a lot of people will go to Oogie Boogie, they'll dress up, they'll go in a group. It's like it's their Halloween party time. It's like a whole event for them. And for them, knock your socks off, baby. I hope you're living your best life. It's not my vibe, but I'm glad you're happy there. So
that's the difference. The Disney girls are going to go to the Disney park.
Yeah, but it's up, and it's the whole you can wear a costume, which you can't do any other time of the year, which is a lot of people love that, and they're going for the fashion and that's their thing. But for just me, Halloween is not my personality.
Some people make hating Halloween part of their personality, Gina.
Yeah, so actually, I was actually going to say that.
I hated it. I don't have a problem with it. It's just, it's not my it's cool. It's fine. I enjoy when we go in the cars and it's all spooky. That's fun, but it's not my oh God, I love Halloween. But I think what it boils down to, as somebody who's not I'm not a diehard Halloween person, Fright Fest, Universal, and Knott's are all about scaring the absolute crap out of you, and Disney isn't.
Yeah, that's where I was going. There's people who genuinely do not like that. They there's a difference between spooky and scary. And I think Disney does a good job at just catering to the spooky thing than that. But hold on. Before we do anything, what's that behind you, Gina?
That?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my tiki water diffuser that makes the house smell nice.
From here, it looks like a jack-o'-lantern. So
no, it's a tiki.
So we're having this whole discussion about Halloween, and
I thought it was it looks like scary Chewbacca.
Okay, yeah.
I'm a summer girly, which everybody's like, summer, it's sweaty. Give me spring and summer. But what that is it's a tiki, and then it looks like a tiki, and then it lights up, and then it diffuses water that you put oil in. So it's just it makes the house smell nice. That's all it is. But it's a tiki. I know it looks like a scary Chewbacca, but
okay. Anyway, I have met a lot of people this past year who genuinely are just no, I don't like scary things. I don't. And I have not met people like that in a long time. I meet a lot of people who are I really love horror movies and stuff. And then recently it's been no, I don't like them. I don't like those scary things. Even me, I like horror movies. I don't like the Hostel and Saw. That's not my thing at all. Give me the Universal monsters. Give me the Mist. That Stephen King type stuff. The whole Squid Game thing. That's not my thing.
Yeah, see, those are the people that Universal is drawing in with all of their themed. They just announced today that they're doing the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire maze, which sounds amazing.
They ride the line though of okay, some of this stuff I'm into and some of it I don't know, not so much. They ride the line. I got a feeling I have a friend who might ask me to go this year, and I'm contemplating it. Do I want to do that? Because I haven't done that in a long time. And then with something like Knott's, Knott's is the originator, right? Knott's is who begun this whole thing. And the reason I stopped going was because the lines were getting ridiculous. But then they introduced that season pass. That's oh, you can go whatever. And that's a very intriguing idea because it's I can just go and get on. I can be there when it opens, get on 2 maces and come home. I don't have to spend, all this time there doing that because it's not fun to wait 2-3 hours to do, an experience that you want to do. That's freaking that's ridiculous. And then you just have to draw the line at some point and say, this is what I'm okay to do, and this is what I'm okay to not. But on the same token, that's fine. But I'm still at a point where it's like, I wouldn't just do it for me. I got to do it for 2, 3, maybe 4 people. So that cost is like, oh, it's just this much. No, it's not. I mean, because it's times 2, it's times 3, times 4, depending on who wants to go. So that's you know this. In all the years I've known you, I've always had that opinion. Like, no, I'm not just buying it for me. I got to get 3 of them or 4 of them, because I think I already knew you when my wife had finally decided to back out of like, oh, I don't want to pass anymore. It's always busy. I don't enjoy that. You take the kids, kind of thing. So it went down by 1, but yeah, it was it was a very unique thing, and I'm all right with it. Whatever, just whatever. But it's going to be interesting to see, back to what we were talking about, which is the merchandise. I'm interesting to see what happens and how that all plays out, because I'm going to see if people are going to buy it all up again and what it is, because I think that's part of it.
Well, you got to see what the logo and all of the
well, we've had this discussion too.
Yeah.
And if I haven't had it with you, and I know I probably have, but I know I've had it with Diggs. No, I think it was with you. Disney brands and merchandise is way better than Universal or anybody else. So that's just as much a part of it as what they're doing. And I think part of it is that. Part of it is like, let me get in so I can get the merch to do whatever, whether it's to resell it or just so I have it. That's part of it. I think it was with you, because I think we're talking about the grab.
Yeah, it was, because I've said Universal does some things well. Certain they do their things. Like they do really well on at reminding people that Jaws and Back to the Future and E.T. and some of their more beloved brand names are that they create just enough merch that doesn't look terrible to remind people that those things exist. And I think they do really good at putting out. They've done really well with the 60th anniversary merch, which once again, I don't understand why they always manage to, these parks manage to pick the odd anniversaries to do really well at merch, because Disneyland also did better with the 60th merch than I think that they did with the 50th merch. But these parks are weird. But yeah, no, I think Universal does as well as they need to do. Disneyland is just there's too many people that are critical and picky of Disneyland merchandise, so they have to stay on top of the game with the merchandise.
Well, I think
otherwise, so. I mean, we've been talking about for years let me just say, for years we've talked about the stupid ass shirts that you can find on Main Street in the stores, and some of the really badly chosen phrases that they put on shirts and stuff like that, going back many years, Dan. So don't at the same time, Disneyland is also really terrible with their everyday merchandise. They're just really good at their event merchandise.
Yeah, no, I wasn't going there. I was going to actually give props to Universal, because Universal has done really well. Well, they've done really well with the wands, and they've done really well with the wizarding ropes, because that's what you see there all the time, right? And they're too, or the Harry Potter stuff in general, because it's high dollar. I mean, a wand is $50-$60, and the robe is well over $100. So they're doing well there. And then all this stuff based upon the house that you identify with or you like, there's so much merchandise for it. And then Hello Kitty. So the thing is, they're properties rather than just being actual Universal, merchandise.
Right. Yeah. No, we've definitely talked before about how Disney really super dropped the ball on not allowing costuming inside of Galaxy's Edge, based on how thoroughly you could become a wizard and go through into Wizarding World and just hang out in there dressed, completely in character as if you want, and nobody seems to care. But Disneyland we don't want anybody confused as a cast member. We can't have that.
Yeah, it's a big difference, because some of the people that are there, I mean, they've got the robe, they've got the scarf, they've got the tie. You know what I mean? It's a lot. But
I mean, you could buy everything basically, but the shirt and pants and shoes. There.
yeah,
I mean,
think you're right.
you could buy vest, you could buy a tie, you could buy the robe, you could buy a hat, you could buy a scarf, you could buy socks. Like I said,
And the funny part is, I don't
pants,
think that
buttoned up shirt, and shoes is about all you can't get.
I don't think I've ever mistaken anybody that's just a guest there as an employee.
No,
I don't think I've ever. There's just a difference.
because you know what employees have that guests don't. Name tags. Name tags. That's all it. Just have to have a name tag. That's what has always designated an employee of someplace from a non-employee of someplace. I'm looking at you people inside Target that you can't even wear a freaking bit of red without being mistaken for an employee inside of Target. You can't wear a bit of blue inside of Walmart without being mistaken for an employee. And what's the color inside of Kohl's? I forget.
No,
I guess
Kohl's doesn't have a.
You just can't dress nice inside of Kohl's without being mistaken for an employee in Kohl's. Look, it's like if I don't have a name tag on, it means I don't work there. Stay the hell away from me. In Disneyland, it's the same thing. If you're not if a person's not wearing a name tag, they're probably not a cast member. Leave them alone. It's like it's that hard. Disney, have some faith in your guests, or don't. I don't know. I mean, it seems to work at Universal, or maybe it doesn't. Who knows?
I don't know. I say this, and I'll still go work at Disney after I retire. But anyway.
I'm definitely going to Disney after I retire.
I'm like, send me home. I don't need to work. It's something to do. I was going to talk about something else. Well, first of all, we got our money. We brought up Dream Keys earlier, so the Dream Key settlements.
Yeah, I got my $65 whole
went out
and gave it right back to Disney.
See, the funny part is I look at that like I'm not going to because I received it as Venmo and they don't take Venmo.
We just put it back in our bank account. Actually, we probably used it because we went to Din Tai Fung, so that's probably
let's talk
where
about
we.
that. Go for it. Let's talk about that.
Nice segue.
I have a thing where my husband and we prefer to eat at sit-down restaurants at Disney. I'm not really a quick service person, so we go there and we always try to find somewhere nice to eat. So when I heard Din Tai Fung was opening, I was like, okay, well, I'll try to see if I can get reservations because I know that every single person is going to want them. Even though there's one down the street at South Coast Plaza, whatever.
Let's just preface this by saying that they're not actually open. They're open for soft openings before you jump right in. I think they just announced today their official opening date was July 1st. Is that what I saw today? No, South Coast Plaza is not just down the street. Let's not get that twisted. It is pretty far down the street.
It's not that far. I mean, it's not like, here's the thing. It's not like you have to drive to LA. It's still within Orange County. It's not that far. But I haven't been there. I don't particularly go there. But we're like, okay, well, we'll see if we can get reservations. Well, because I'm off and I'm doom scrolling through social media, I was online when the reservation went live, and
nice.
I jumped on it. The latest reservation I could get was 3:15 on a Wednesday. They were going like hotcakes, so they were kind of crazy.
I mean, I know that sounds late for you.
So while we're waiting, let's go ahead and start. So Michael just joined us. So if there's a little weird transition from one thing to another, it's because we're on Skype and it messed something up. But we're all good.
Yeah.
So we just talked about Oogie Boogie Bash, man. A bunch of just kind of how it was, there's still tickets for sale as of now. I brought up hey, is it a possibility that they upped capacity a little bit? Because they have every right to, right? And lines just haven't been as low as they were before. To getting into the merchandise, I'm like, oh man, everybody's wanting for merchandise versus the other theme parks that do stuff, and just kind of an amazement that there's still tickets for sale as we're talking right now, because that wasn't how it was before, which led to my theory of I think maybe they raised capacity a little bit because they're going to make more money with more nights and more people in there. What does it matter to them how long you're waiting in line to meet Ernesto de la Cruz or whatever? So that's where we were at. We had just started talking about Gina had mentioned, what's the name of the place? Din Tai what?
Din Tai Fung.
Din Tai Fung. I didn't hear hardly anything, so I
You know
heard
what?
that.
If Michael wants to add anything about Oogie Boogie, he's more than welcome to do that before we transition, because or any of the other topics, if we want to have him throw his 2 cents into the ring.
You got 2 cents about Oogie Boogie?
About Oogie Boogie, for me, it's a one and done. That's it. You know what I mean? But all they really do is just add an extra character or two. You know what I mean? There's no really stopping and taking a photo. You just walk on by. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? Nothing's changed at the maze they have right there in Grizzly Peaks. I haven't seen nothing different. So for me, it's a one and done. Fight for it. You know what I mean? I heard there was a lot of issues for the top pass holder, Najiki. A lot of people were right at checkout, and it wouldn't let them go through. And then eventually they just sold out, and so a lot of people were pissed that I saw. But no, nothing much. I don't go anymore.
All right, Din Tai Fung then. I always feel like I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah, it's Din Tai
right.
Fung. I'm probably not even saying it correctly, because I mean, I'm sure my Taiwanese accent is non-existent, but so anyway, I happened to be online when the reservations, somebody commented on some group that the reservations were live. So I jumped on it, and the latest reservation I could get was 3:15. And my husband gets off work at 1:30. So we knew it was going to be tight, but we're like, we'll do it. We'll figure it out. So we did. We just went yesterday, so it's still in the soft opening. So they didn't have some of their menu items. But they had most of them. They had all the good ones, like all the popular ones that everybody loves.
The signature ones that they're known for.
Yes. So we probably ordered way too much, because for people who haven't gone, it is a Taiwanese restaurant, mostly like dumpling type food, noodles, and it's served family style. So it's meant to be shared. Their Xiaolong bao is what they're most known for, but it's a soup dumpling. And there's like a whole process to eat it. So we ordered that. It was delicious. I'm sure like people will say, oh, you can get the same at the corner. I'm sure you can, but it was very good. We got a spicy noodle, which was the best. We got a beef noodle, which my mom liked. I gave her some leftovers, but I thought it was a little bland for my palate. We ordered some other dumpling, like a chicken dumpling. But what you have to get, we each got a cocktail, not worth your time or money, not worth $20. I'd rather walk myself somewhere else. But if you ever get there, the one thing you have to order is their chocolate mochi little bao bun thing, little bao. It was a little dumpling, maybe. It was literally one of the best desserts I've ever had in my life. Imagine, I've had it. It was described this way, and I 100% agree. It's like the chocolate that you get at the bottom of a drumstick, but inside a dumpling and steamed.
Ooh, what?
Oh no, that's the best part of a drumstick, by the way.
Oh yeah, totally. And then you can order for an extra $1. They had this sweet salted cream that you could dunk it in. I believe it was a religious experience. It was probably, if I had to go back and choose one item, I would forego everything and just get this dessert. Like, that was what was worth it.
Because you sent some pictures of the food, and it looked to the group, and it looked good. It looked good. What's the
It was really good.
So remind me where it's at, because I don't remember where it's at.
So this is the first Din Tai Fung that they built a building specifically to house it. And so if you just walk into downtown Disney now from the Simba parking lot and the hotels, it's literally the first building.
Through the brand new security gate.
Yes, it's It's between where the old security gate and the brand new security gate are.
Where the movie theater used to be? That area over there?
That whole area, yeah. That used to be behind
where
walls.
Earl's Sandwich used to be.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Earl's
And
Sandwich.
they've been slowly taking down the different walls. I have to tell you, that whole area is awesome. It's a mid-century mod vibe. They built the stage there. They have the whole grass area kids run around
The
in.
lawn chairs and stuff there too.
They have the lounge chairs that you can sit in. And then Din Tai Fung is right there. And it's a great location. The food was very good. The service, I know they're on soft opening, so like I always kind of give grace anyway, but I didn't have to. Our server was amazing. The food runners, amazing. They pace the food. So you don't get it all at once. So you're eating everything hot. So when you order the soup dumpling, that comes out first. Then a little bit later, here are your noodles. Then a little bit later, here's your other dumplings. And then so like it's paced well. The bar was a little backed up. So it took a little bit longer, but honestly, again, they're also known for their boba tea, which I'm not a big boba tea drinker, but they had a lot of like non-alcoholic like specialty drinks on the menu.
Don't tell Bella that when you see her.
I will not. I'll save your wallet. But they had a lot of those. Here's my only complaint. I have literally one complaint. It sounds like the inside of an airplane hangar in that place.
Yeah, you said something about the sound.
Yeah.
About it being loud.
It sent my sensory into overdrive. I looked at Aaron and I was like, is it me or is it loud in here? He's like, it is loud in here because it's got vault ceilings and
really loud.
It's very echoey. So I think Trader Sam's
So it sounds like old restaurants.
Yeah.
All old restaurants used to sound like that when you get them like super packed and stuff, like old Denny's and stuff. If you get them like super packed and you get all that sound of the kitchen with the clanking of the dishes and forks hitting dishes and all those sounds mixing together, hitting the ceiling and then just shooting straight down.
Bad.
Yeah, no, that's a sound of the 80s.
Well, the 80s are alive and well at Din Tai Fung. And the tables are very close together. Like they're packing you in because they know they're going to be popular. But that was probably my biggest and real only complaint.
Yeah, something off screen.
My mom's here and she was listening to a video and I could hear it. So that means you guys can hear it. So I just asked her if she could turn it down for a second. That's all. But so anyway, yeah, I would say that if you have an opportunity to go, would I wait 3 hours for it? No, I would not. I know that they were talking about how like long it's going to take. Like, oh, the walk-up list is 2.5 hours. No, my friends. I can point in the direction of a million other delicious places. Do not wait 3 hours for that restaurant. But if you happen to walk up, 30, 45-minute wait, or you can walk up to the bar and they have service at the bar or something, definitely eat it. Delicious, great. But would I wait that long?
And make sure you have leftovers because they have the cutest takeout bags.
The bags are and our waiter, he even boxed it up for us. He was like, would you like me
to that's the other thing.
That
a lost art at restaurants is them boxing it up for you. But no, that was the other thing. I didn't mention it because I know that that's not really that unusual because there are places that do that. But
I was going to say the Chinese place or the Mandarin place I usually go eat. They box it up for us.
But it is a lost art at most places. But that is a big deal that they do that for you. But yeah, the takeout bags are super cute.
They are. The only thing though, if you have anyone in your party with any kind of noise sensitivity, really consider having them wear like loop earplugs or having headphones, because it was very loud.
Do they not have outside seating?
No.
Okay.
No, it's all indoors. And we went through the whole restaurant. They have like 3 sections. Like the bar section is in the middle, and then there's seating to either side of the bar. And the bathrooms were across from where we were. So we walked through each section. The noise level is the same throughout the entire restaurant. The noise level it was very, very loud. But that's it. So if you don't have anyone with noise sensitivity and you're not like looking to have like a intimate, quiet conversation, it's a great time. It was good fun. It's fun to share food. It would have been more fun to go. I think it would have been fun to go with more people, I think, because then we could have, shared more and like you split the bill at that point. Cause like they gave us 10 soup dumplings and there's 2 of us. So like we definitely had leftovers.
Next month I will be better.
Hey, if you guys want to go, I would love to go again. Like Aaron and I were just saying that. So if you want to go, let us know. We're down to go again. And try it again when they're not having a soft open.
There's something the stuff that was
when I'm
available looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're better, let us know.
I know. He already knows I'm down. But yeah. And when I'm better here, we'll talk about it.
Once the hoopla dies down and it's been open for quite a while, it won't be as crowded in there, and it won't be as noisy. So there'll be times later when it won't be as bad to go in there, and certainly won't be as noisy. With
all the redo of downtown Disney, it's not tough to get reservations at the restaurants in downtown Disney that have been open a while now. No, it's not.
We went to Centrico yesterday. We walked past it. It was a walk-in. Like you could have just walked right in, and people were like fighting for those reservations a week.
It was like a month ago, right?
Yeah, it wasn't even that long ago. And then they're opening across from Din Tai Fung. They have a new food. It's gonna be like an alfresco bar and it's a marketplace, some kind of marketplace.
A little shopping stall.
And so upstairs they're going to have another bar area where you can get food and drinks, and there's something else that opened up. So there's a lot more choices now, and I love that. Because like I said, I like to go and have a meal. Like I enjoy going to have a meal, not just grabbing a corn dog. So it's nice that there's so many other options. And you can just go to downtown.
What's that place at the hotel you were talking about last time?
Oh, their bar. What was the name of their bar?
Because I just saw a video that was in.
Oh, Lisa Lam just went.
Yes, that was it.
Lisa Lam just.
Yes, that's the video I saw.
And she said everything I said.
No, I thought that. Yeah, no, I thought that sounded familiar, but. That's the video I was talking about.
I want to say Starlight Lounge.
It's called the
Pacific something.
Something. Yeah, I don't have it. Why is it not showing up on here? Anyway, it's their outdoor hotel bar, and it's great. It was awesome. It's near
the pool.
Yes, it is near.
But it seems really nice from her video. It seemed really nice there, and it seemed like someplace worth going as well.
It wasn't at Pixar. It's at the new DCA Towers at the Disneyland Hotel. It's called DPC. It's called the Palm Breeze Bar.
Oh, Palm Breeze, not Pacific.
Palm Breeze. And again, that is also awesome. I'd go back there too.
Right.
Isn't that where the Karate Kid stayed when he came to California? The Palm Breeze. It sounds like.
In Encino?
Yeah. No, Reseda.
Reseda. Yes, I'm sorry, Reseda. Yeah.
I would rather go to the Palm Breeze bar than, I mentioned this last time, I'd rather go to Palm Breeze than the Grand California Craftsman. It was, their pool bar. I think it was better. I think that since Disneyland Hotel has the DVC towers and they've redone a lot of stuff, I dare say that I would probably choose to stay there over the Grand Californian. The pool looks better. The food was better. So, I don't know.
And I'm not the biggest fan of Pixar, but I did just watch a video recently of the of how the Pixar hotel looks, and it's actually really cool looking inside.
Yeah, I agree. It looked great. I didn't get a chance to go in yet, but the everything looks really good.
That's good. Like I said, everything that you had looked like it was like, oh, that looks tasty. It's tasty. I don't know, but I'm not. I mean, I'll definitely do the dessert, but I'm not a big fan of bao. I don't know. Dumplings though. Ooh, yeah, give me the dumplings. Give me all
We
the
did not
dumplings.
get any buns. The bao fill me up too fast. There's too much food for me. So we didn't get any of the bao buns. We got noodles and we got dumplings and we got the soup dumplings. We got the regular dumplings and the soup dumplings. And all of that was great. The bao are fine. They can be a little dry sometimes, but we didn't order any bao, and just the dumplings were really good. And the noodles were really good.
I prefer the spicy noodles.
Oh, and we got the short ribs as an appetizer.
Must get.
Forget that cucumber. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, the cucumber salad." No. Short ribs. Short ribs. Trust me.
I'd rather have that over cucumber salad.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cucumber
Give me
salad.
the-
Get out of here.
I'll take
Get
that.
out of here with
I'll take
that
the
shit.
protein.
It's just pretty. They're like thick cuts of cucumber, like stacked with like stuff on them. And so it looks pretty, like it's very picture worthy, but food wise, like give me those short ribs. They were delicious.
It probably stinks.
Bite-sized nuggets. They were so good.
Hey, we talked about DAS, but we talk, and you mentioned this, but we didn't talk about it. Genie Plus.
You mean lightning?
Lightning Lane Multipass?
The only thing that's changing here at Disneyland though is the name. In not our park, they're changing several things. But here at Disneyland, the only thing changing is the name.
Isn't the name just going back? Wasn't it lightning before?
No, I think it's always been Genie.
No,
it was just Genie. It was Genie, and then they add the plus. Where's Michael at? Didn't they add the plus?
I'm pretty sure that something was lightning back in the day when they were first talking about doing lightning lanes and all that shit. Something was lightning. Maybe that was at Universal. I don't know, but
it's ka-chow.
Lightning is not original. I know that much.
I don't know, but yeah, no. People had asked me about it, and I was like,
disappeared into the ether.
This looks nothing. Looks like it's nothing different. Like at all. So, was there nothing different? Just it's all in.
Just name.
I don't know.
It's in the name.
Just a name change.
Wow.
It's probably an effort to unify the names.
That was very anticlimactic, to say the least.
Well, if we were in Florida, they're having changes.
Well, yeah, but the way they talk about it, like it freaks people out. Like, oh my God, they're changing stuff. I'm like, I didn't see anything here that was any different. Like, you still can't get it ahead of time. You can't do anything until you scan into park, and you can get so many experiences at a time.
I mean, that's the internet and people in a nutshell anyways. People are going to make the biggest deal about nothing. So, I mean, that's all there is to it.
Disney, do not
on
forget,
that note,
Disney
Star Wars.
Disney influencers and vloggers, they get clicks, and their whole job depends on getting clicks and views. So they become extra sensationalist. Oh my God, it's a name change! And then everybody clicks on them, and then they're like, cool, now I can go eat my churro this month and pay my mortgage. So I think that sometimes there's a lot of like frenetic activity, or, you know, a lot of people are like, ooh, there's a buzz. And it goes back to the fact that, as we've mentioned before, you know, we have jobs and we like to do fun things on the side, but a lot of Disney vloggers and influencers, like, that's their bread and butter. So every day they're out there grinding, trying to get you to click.
Well, the only one that I actually kind of watch actually does things for them. Like, he's that well known and well respected that they invite him to do things. And I've always, even before he had that position, when he was doing stuff, he interacts with people on his accounts. And so I said something to him one time, thank you, man, for actually just telling the truth. Like, you didn't sensationalize anything. You just provided facts, and here it was. But he does it in this upbeat, you know, peppy way that it's like, okay, he's watchable because he's not shitting on anything. He's just giving, this is just facts. Here's what it is. But he does it in a peppy way. Here's what you need to know. And here's this. And then that's it. And that's it. That's it. And I guess that caught on with Disney themselves because, like I said, he worked his way up from just doing that to, like, he gets invited to these backstage things to do that, to do the same thing. And that's that his content is still the same stuff. It's still I'm just giving you facts. Here's what they showed, and here's the info. Well, that's it. So he's the one that I saw that had done the genie thing and said, okay, now if you're in Disney World, here's the difference. Here, nothing has changed for us. It's just the name. It still works the same, type thing.
That
And it
doesn't get
goes,
clicks, man.
oh,
You
he's
know
getting
what?
plenty because
Like
I've
I
I've
love
seen him grow.
stuff
I've
that
seen him grow from the guy I was following to like he's working for Disney, man. So he's doing something right. Probably because they know he's reliable. He's not like the couple that have banned me. And Michael, how many have banned you? I'm sure you got a number of misters who banned you.
He's like, how much
Yep.
time you got?
Right? I've been banned by a couple. I call him out for something. Like, nope.
the last one that you asked about the grifting of money for a renewal of a pass.
He never answered me.
He
Yeah.
didn't block you
He
either.
didn't bother. No. I called one out. It was like, I'm gonna stop doing this content because of the price of everything. I'm like, you're just looking for freaking people to donate so you can buy your pass and you don't have to do it. Like, come on.
Michael kicked me out of his some of his sites because I was calling out people on sites. So
Michael isn't in control, and you know you are too.
and I happen to think that Gothic Rosie is full of shit too, but everybody seems to love her.
She's got. Yeah, we call her out from time to time too. She gets petty and just stuck on certain things. You're like, why is this the hill you're gonna die on? Like, you're getting kind of petty here.
Has a hill
Yeah.
that you will die on. We all have that hill. So, but at least she's, the thing that I'll give her credit for is that she's not out there clicking and viewing and trying to get grifting for money. And like,
Yeah.
so, at least she's out there doing it because she genuinely likes what she's doing. Kind of like this. It's just something she does for fun. But yeah, I'm a chismosa. I love the tea. I love all that petty vlogger drama. I go on websites and read about it. So like, I love that kind of, that's my novella. So I like to know all of that. So I listen and watch them because I think it's fun. But to get any real content, no, there's only a few people that I'll follow for real stuff, not the petty. Oh my god, I love this new thing. It's the best thing ever. And you're like, it's the
okay. Well, here, you know what? I have been meaning to mention this to you guys, and I keep forgetting. But I was talking to somebody about this the other day. So Gina and I and Aaron, they are still set up to do the chalk walk next month. Now I got to get my donations going here, but I have not seen anybody of those people post anything that says they're doing the chalk walk, and I haven't seen them do that.
Nobody.
I have not seen anybody do that after they did that after that year. That was that After Dark event. That's the only time I've ever seen them do that. It was like, oh, raise money for this thing. Why? Because they got, and I told you then, these fools are only doing it because they're getting this special After Dark party and not because it's just the right thing to do. And that's why I continue to do it, because it's just the freaking right thing to do. I get nothing out of it. And I didn't do it that year. That's the year that I said, I will not do this because I will not be the one that does this strictly to get an After Dark event like this. I've seen none of those people who raised a considerable amount of money because they have the ability to do that. I have not seen them return because they're not getting anything out of it. And that to me is super fake. And that's why I don't support that crap. This, the guy that fool, that I won't even grace him by name.
A lot of that money is dried up. If you watch my live stream, the super chats are not what they were during the shutdown days. People don't have that money anymore. The economy is bad. So I think that there are some people that are privately Venmoing them. They're not doing the super chats. Like, they're getting funded by private people with more money than sense, as my dad would say. But the money that was rolling in on the live streams and the super chats aren't there. So it's like, a lot of times you get kind of addicted to money. And so instead of going like, I'm going to do this for this charity and raise all this money, like, they're trying to figure out a way that they can capitalize on it. A lot of them have gone behind paywalls. They do subscriber only content. They're on Instagram. Like, oh my God, subscribe to my Instagram story. I'm like, fool, you're not that interesting. I'm not giving you $5 a month to see that you went to the grocery store. So a lot of them
TikTok is just battles.
oh yeah, yeah. And then
That's
people just
stupid.
throw money at them. And I'm like, that's great. If you've got that I still live at home with my parents money, good job, baby. I hope live your best. But like a lot of that money is dried up for people. Like I went to the grocery store, I bought 3 bags of groceries and it cost me $150. It's like I'm not giving money to a vlogger, like because I don't have it. So I think a lot of them, their money has dried up. And so they're not getting the same donations either, you know. But the fact that none of them, I've heard nobody in the community talk about Chalk Walk is telling. It's
Well,
telling.
I'm right here. Ooh,
I'm right here.
dozens of people will listen to. I'm doing Chalk Walk. Okay?
Tens.
Okay, let's
of
switch it.
people.
Movies. So, Michael, I'm sure you know this, but I've been sick, right? So I'm at home. I've been sick. So
I saw that.
Yeah. So I've been home watching a lot of stuff, and actually before all this broke down, I went and saw Inside Out 2. Has anybody else seen Inside Out 2? You seen it yet? No?
No.
Man,
No.
it's good. It's a really freaking good movie. So this by far is one of the best Pixar movies in years. Definitely since the pandemic. By far. It is so freaking good. The numbers show
That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah, the numbers show it, man. It's still doing ridiculously well. I'm not ruling out that I wouldn't see it again, but obviously being sick, I haven't been, back to the movies. But it's that good. Took the whole family, like I always do. Every time I go to the movies for a movie like that, I take my entire family. But all of us enjoyed it, laughing and just like whatever. A lot of people relating to the content because of the characters, which is cool. That's not me. I don't think like that, but it was a good. And I think with this movie, it's super relatable. And those were already popular characters. So to take them and add these 4 new emotions in that are relatable, one being anxiety, envy, embarrassment, and boredom, like if you got kids, you'd be like that's my daughter right there. That one is my daughter. And that one's my son. Like it's funny. It's funny. Like it's really good. I admit, Michael, you all should see it. But like having kids, you should take your lady and your girl, and you should go see that film, dude. Without a doubt.
Yeah, my lady they went, her and Ariel went. They said it was really good, and like something they haven't seen a good movie in a while. I was supposed to go, but then I realized it was a treatment day, so I couldn't go.
Yeah. So because of that, I got kind of sick right after that. So I've been watching a lot of stuff that I have not watched yet. I just hadn't got around to it. One of the things I watched, which I realized I'd never seen, was the movie Onward. Another Pixar movie. I had never seen Onward. So I was like, oh, I've never seen this. And I was sitting here with my daughter, because all of us were sick. And she was like, we've seen this movie. And I'm like, I have not seen this movie. We have seen this movie, she said, because I have seen this movie. I'm like, well, I tell you, for one, we didn't see it in the theater. Why? Because it opened March 6, 2020 in movie theaters. I'm like, so we did not see this in the movie theater.
Yeah, it was the last movie to come out before COVID.
Right.
Shutdown started.
Right. So there it was. I was like, I have never seen this movie. She said, I swear we have. Nope. I promise you I've never seen that movie. How they saw it, they must have seen it on Disney Plus after. Where I was, I have no idea, but I had never seen it. So that was also one of the first Disney movies that went VOD. Remember the view on demand stuff? And I didn't do that either. So it's just been sitting for these 4 years. So I watched it, and it was pretty good. And I looked at it. I always like to read Wikipedia about movies that after I watch them, just to get interesting facts or whatever. And it has a great rating. It has a great rating. I mean, and look at who you got. You got Tom Holland as the lead and Chris Pratt as the secondary. They're huge names, in this. Yeah, so it was like
the least desirable of all the Chris's. Let's just.
Yeah, my only complaint about that movie is I feel like that the Chris Pratt role was written for Jack Black, and then somehow Chris Pratt just wormed his way into the role. Because this is my only complaint about the movie. I just feel like it was a Jack Black role, just like suited for him, and then just somehow Chris Pratt fell into it.
I have no idea.
That's literally like my only complaint about the movie.
I just was like, hey, this is Eddie Munson before Eddie Munson was Eddie Munson.
Right.
For the Stranger Things, you know what I mean? So there was that. And then I was like, okay, well, what else haven't I seen? I never saw the second Deadpool movie. No, as we're
I
poised to come out,
and I love Deadpool.
yeah, we're poised to come out with the third here in a couple of weeks. I was like, I've never seen the second one, so I started thinking about it.
I hadn't seen either of the Deadpools and just watched them recently.
Okay, well, that's what I was. I was like, you know what? I don't remember much from the first one, so I had to watch the first one. So then I was like, okay, I watched the first one. Now I might as well watch the second one because the third one's coming out. Then it was like, what else haven't I seen? Disney Plus, Venom. I had never seen Venom. So I was like, Venom. Okay, it wasn't too bad. It actually wasn't too bad. I see why it's popular. And then after that, what sucks is
Tom Hardy has charisma. That's why.
Right. The second Venom, it's not on streaming. I'd have to have, I can't remember what I had to have. Something I don't have to watch Venom. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to get that just to watch one movie. So I'll wait till it comes out on, maybe. Hulu, something. One service I don't have. And I'm like, I'm not going to get that just to watch this one movie. So that ain't going to happen right now. But that's what I started doing. And then I realized I'd never seen the live action Aladdin. So I've literally been trying to empty Disney Plus. I don't get time, man. I spent 10 years doing softball, right? 4 or 5 days a week. And now that there's nothing and I'm sick, I'm like, I'm just going to watch a bunch of movies. Because I also watched The Last of Us, and I watched Wednesday, and I watched The Iron Claw. I've been watching a bunch of stuff, but I've been focusing more on the Disney stuff because this is what we do. But I was like, wow, I missed out on a lot of good stuff. So I'll get to it. Did I talk the last time we had it? I did talk about Castle Peak, huh?
Yes, you did.
Backyard, okay.
You were going to be seeing Phantasmic the next night, and you were...
That did not happen. Why didn't that happen? I don't remember why that didn't happen, but
it doesn't matter why it doesn't. It doesn't matter why.
No, it doesn't matter why. No. That's because no. You know what? I know what it was. We had gone. We didn't even do what we wanted to do because we were supposed to eat at Carthay Circle, and looked at the menu and we're like, this menu is just not exciting. It's like there's nothing on this menu that looks exciting. Yeah.
Oh, that's the day we went to Carthay al fresco.
Yes.
And we all, because there were so many of us, they put us outside just as the cavalcade was starting. So we got to have front row seats to the Pixar Pal cavalcade while
together.
the Better Together thing, while we got to, get our stuff for Carthay. It was very hot that day. And I think that we were all really just beat. And so I think you said, I'm calling it and I'm not going to stay for Phantasmic tonight.
That's when my kids started to get sick. That's actually when my kids started to get sick because that weekend was my daughter's party. And so the running thing is, I haven't said.
Is the party the super spreader event?
I have no idea. So I have COVID is what I actually have. And so people had started to get sick. And then I got sick on Saturday night, and on Sunday, it was on Sunday, my wife and my daughter were still sick, and we were watching something on the news that just said, uptick in COVID, because of the summertime and all this. And so we just kind of wondered, I wonder if what we have is actually COVID. So I have a bunch of tests because I work at a school. So I have all the ones that I didn't use. So we each took one, and they all came back positive. And I was like, oh, okay. These days...
Cool.
Yeah, it doesn't really mean anything. You know what I mean? Because there's no protocol in place. But the bottom line is, I don't want to get anybody sick. So I haven't really gone any place where there's been a bunch of people. And I've only gone places where I need to go to get whatever I need and then get out of there. Just because this sucks for me. I don't need anybody else. Like my dad just had surgery. I'm not seeing my dad. Why? He doesn't need to get sick. He just had a knee replacement surgery. Right. I just don't want to put myself around a bunch of people. But the prevailing thoughts are that it was either at her party, where I got it, or somebody had it there, and then we just got sick after, or a graduation I went to, but I was also the last one sick. So I think it might have been my son, because he kind of had a sore throat for a couple of days, and a day of congestion. He was the first one, and then all of us later. And if it was...
He's
ground zero, but it would have been at Disney. Because that's the only place that he went. Well,
Knock on wood.
you escaped it because we were with you the day he would have
Yeah.
probably contracted it. So
Yeah,
whatever.
so whatever, like he probably got it from Disney, which shocking. You're at Disney. People bring their kid with impetigo there. So, I don't know if you heard that story. Chick said on TikTok that somebody stole her Stanley Cup. Surprise, her kid's impetigo germs were all over it. And then everybody's like, why are you bringing your kid with impetigo to Disney? What the hell is wrong with you? Anyway, like people are stupid, but
If we had $1
we
for all the people who
did.
took their kids with diseases to places, we'd have
Measles.
a lot of dollars.
Measles.
Measles, hand, foot, and mouth, impetigo, COVID.
COVID.
It's like, I get it if you paid $1 million, but like your kid is sick,
Yeah,
Have some
well, look, I don't want to do that
common
because
sense.
I've actually modified 2 reservations. I've missed 2 reservations for Disney because of being sick here. So it's whatever. You get over it. That's what happened. By the way, back to what we were doing. So we ended up with a front row view of the Better Together cavalcade, which was cool to do.
That's
And then,
the upstairs balcony. Is that what you're talking about?
no, we were
No, we were
downstairs.
at the al fresco,
there's-
so it was downstairs.
Oh, I don't even
We
know where
were
that
right
is.
in the corner. We were right in the corner where it turns.
Oh,
right when the
right
street
there.
turns,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Into Hollywood. That's where we were seated.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it was a great
That's
view
cool.
of that. And then we went to
Despite the heat.
yeah, but it wasn't too bad. We were
Yeah,
shaded.
because it was very shaded. It was quite
Oh,
nice. They had, sodas and refreshing beverages, and we had some appetizers. And then after that, it was hot. So we went to Animation Academy.
Yeah. Went to Animation Academy, and then we went to Turtle Talk. Turtle Talk with Crush, which is always a good time, right? So
I skipped out on that because Aaron lost his Pirates of the Caribbean water bottle, and I had to go back to Carthay and hope they had it. They
with
did.
Impetigo.
Yes, they had made sure we had the impetigo on there. We hocked to it on it, and off we
No, don't even. I wish I had never heard of those 2 words.
Hey, Missy Elliott started that first, so I just want to point out.
Anyway.
So yeah, then
Uh,
Turtle Talk Crush, and then after that, I think everybody was hot and not feeling like staying till 9 o'clock or whatever. Because after that, we all left, didn't we?
No, didn't we go?
Or
No.
After that.
No, we went to go eat.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was food involved again. I forgot.
Yeah, we went over to Flo's and ate there and had one of those. I can't remember.
That was really good.
Man, we've had so many churros, I can't even name them all.
Yeah,
So,
it was a poor churro. It was really good though. It was quite
Yeah.
tasty. Flo's I was surprised because I hadn't eaten there before and the food was really good. Yeah, it was really good.
Flo's is a go-to. Michael knows this, right? Flo's is a go-to when it comes to food. No, not in Flo's.
It used to.
Yeah, when they had the fried chicken.
They still have the
hit
fried
and miss.
chicken.
Fried
Oh, do they?
chicken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They should bring back the buttons.
maybe. Anyway, then we went over to we got on Little Mermaid. That's what we did. Because I'm still on the hunt for
Yes.
all the.
Oh,
Yes.
is that where your video's from?
That's
Your
okay.
video of Little Mermaid. What's the changes?
the
Is that a joke?
song? Yeah, it was a joke. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, her dancing to the song. It's a trend on TikTok right now to have characters do a dance to a song that's not what they're actually
that's
dancing
funny.
to. So that's
Yeah, no, I
what
saw
it was.
that video. Is that when that video was from? I assume then.
Yeah, I filmed it then.
That's fine.
I'm still on the hunt for the okay. I'm still on the hunt for all the trucks. So that's what I wanted to get on that ride for because one of the
One of
trucks is
them-
behind Eric's shield.
Oh, right.
Yes, but one of them is on the rapid ride, so
Yeah.
Is it on the rapid ride?
It's
I haven't heard of that one.
yeah, I want to say one of them is on the wet ride at DCA. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I'm pretty
I'm-
sure every ride
There
has
is one
isn't it?
there for sure. It's right before you get on the cave. You have to turn back if you don't see it because
So,
the thing is
Aaron
spinning.
He's ready. Aaron's ready. He
I don't mind
brought-
that ride, and neither does Matthew.
Oh.
So we're ready.
Let's
So all right,
do
we'll have
it.
to plan a day here. Oh, I think I have a reservation next week and one the week after. So I'll have to give you the dates to see what you're looking like. But that's
Yeah, we're going on the 3rd.
We have 2 actually. So
Oh,
there you
okay.
go. There it is.
All right.
There's
Well,
your Grizzly River
schedule's
Rapids ride after Aaron gets out
yeah,
of
we're
work.
gonna go out there off work. Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
it.
all right, that works. Grizzly River, here we come.
You still
Gina,
wanted to
luck.
talk about Star Wars and halfway to Christmas.
Okay, halfway to Christmas. They announced it's halfway to Christmas, and they announced that they showed the character costumes. Or is what they did. Did I miss anything else other than the costumes?
They re-released the key holder bag from last Christmas for Viva Navidad.
Okay, people thought that was new too. People totally thought that was new, and I was like, "That's the one from Christmas. That's fine."
That's the one that they sold out of.
I thought it was new, but I thought it looked familiar. So
okay, was it ever actually sold out?
They, from what I understand, people couldn't get it. I don't know.
People couldn't get it because they couldn't get there. I never saw it sold out. That's what I remember. Because by the time
I tell you, those lines were long though.
That's stupid too, dude. Remember, because it was always long to get there. The first thing when I actually got it, I went up about an hour after they opened. I walked right up.
Yeah, I walked into the home store and a lady was sitting there, and I was like, "Hi," and I showed her my magic key, and she's like, "Thank you," and she tallied it and handed me a bag, and we walked. It was like a 30-second event.
Yeah, people, that's ridiculous. It should not have. I don't know why. For those things, they get a bunch of those, and there's a ton of them in the stack when they're handing them out. Even when I was there doing that, it's dumb.
They're nice little totes. I mean, they're a little, it's cute. It's a cute little tote. It was free. I'll take it. I'll take my free.
I just like it for the design.
No, the design is really cool.
Yeah,
I got 2 of them over
cool.
sitting on the side over here. So that's where we're at halfway to Christmas. I guess we'll end with Star Wars real quick, yeah? Okay, yeah. Star Wars. Acolyte. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. I mentioned Acolyte, and then you said, "Oh, we'll talk about that later."
Because did you watch it yesterday?
Yeah, I've seen all the episodes so far.
Michael?
Yeah, I'm up to date.
Okay. What do you think? Well, first of all, do you like it?
I mean, go ahead.
Little things here and there I don't like, but overall it's okay. I go in, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just an average person watching it, even though I love Star Wars and nitpick here and there, but it's not that bad.
Anthony?
I mean, you know me.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, I've read nearly all of the High Republic books, so I know when this is the tail end of that time period. I think it's fine. There's some things there's nothing that's like worth getting crying over it. Definitely nothing like Ki-Adi-Mundi's age. Apparently a lot of people are really invested in how old Ki-Adi-Mundi is supposed to be, and a lot of people are invested in just really hating on anything. So I mean, you can't. All you can do is just watch it. Don't read a single thing you read online. Don't believe a single thing you read online. Don't read a single thing about any of the actors. Don't read a single thing about Leslie Headland. Just watch the damn thing and judge for yourself.
Pretty much.
Because that's all you could do. Because all you're going to do is just nothing but toxicity from anything to do with Star Wars. I mean, you think everything is toxic with Disney? Well, it's just as bad with Star Wars, if not worse. Because
hold on, and that has nothing to do with Disney.
No, some of it does. Some of it does.
Some of it does, but it would still be there.
I mean, the Venn circle is nearly there, but there is the people that have always been Star Wars haters. That even before the ones that the ones that caused Lucas to sell to begin with. The problem is the people that are we know the ones that are the problems. They're the ones they're the woke, the DEI, the ones who are spouting all of the buzzwords, all of those people, the ones who just because Leslie Headland happened to be assistant for Weinstein does not mean that she is part of everything that Weinstein stood for. That's not what that means. And if you think that's what that means, then you're an idiot and you don't understand how the world works. Just like the people that think that Kathleen Kennedy only got Lucas and Spielberg coffee. You don't understand how the world works. You don't understand how the entertainment world works. Just because she was his assistant for, I think, 4 years does not know that she knows anything about what was going on with him. Doesn't mean she's been to Epstein Island. It doesn't mean any of that shit. She just happened to work for the man. If you would watch the damn show and understand all the things that are happening, you would understand that she loves Star Wars as much as everybody that loves Star Wars. Do you even know what cortosis is? Does Aaron know what cortosis is?
No, all Aaron said was it could have been a great show, but it's not a great show.
It is a great show if you can just see past all of the bullshit.
This episode
is one of the best Star Wars has put out in a long time.
This episode, I think, changed a lot of things. I think stuff is hidden from us on purpose.
Oh,
I think by getting writers who aren't necessarily fans, you come at it from a different perspective because they're looking to give you something a little bit different. And I think that's what they're doing, because come on, it's not like Disney doesn't have a team that is looking at everything and saying, this is how it fits into what we had created. It's there. So they're not going to let them write something and it doesn't go with anything else. It's freaking there. Did I know what cortosis was? I didn't until I had to look it up today, because it dawned on me, why did it do that? And then I looked it up and it was like, oh, it's this metal that does this. It shorts out lightsabers.
I had forgotten about that.
That
stuff comes from the old EU. It came from a novel called I, Jedi, which is one of.
So I looked it up today too. It's canon too.
It's also book, canon. It was introduced in the book that is the origin of how Hera and Kanan met. It's introduced in that book. So yes, it is canon, and the deep cuts. A lot of the lightsaber moves that were depicted during that whole entire battle are deep cuts from canon, from both the EU, from video games. OSHA was used a version of Kasi, which actually had a video game named after a fighting move in Star Wars that actually had a video game. A fighting game, which was the very first Star Wars fighting game back in like the late 90s, I think. The deep cuts are coming crazy, and it's really hard to keep track of it. Some of them I don't even know, because like I've read and listened and watched a lot of Star Wars in my life, but some of them are just like I don't know them, and we're supposed to believe that this is a bad show and that these people don't know anything about Star Wars, and then that's what
I was gonna say. Remember, they don't know anything about Star Wars. Yeah. Anyway, I saw something online where a guy was shitting on it, and the comments are crazy because people were like, "No, this isn't my Star Wars. Give me the original 6." The original 6. That's remember 25 years ago when no one liked those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So very different time. And then I put in something like in the comments that I was like, you can only understand the great mystery if you get away from the narrow dogmatic view of the Jedi. There you go. Like you have to open your mind a little bit.
The people.
Okay. Gina's saying bye. She's got to go.
Okay.
See you later.
Right. Next time.
Bye. Just real fast, I'll say that the people that are really clean seem to be clean to the aforementioned Ki-Adi-Mundi's line in Phantom Menace about the Sith have not been heard from in a millennium. The people that think that line should be taken at completely face value have never understood the Jedi as Lucas put them forth from the prequels and on at all. The Jedi have been lost in their own hubris for at least since the time of High Republic. By the end of the High Republic, the Jedi are starting to get lost in their own hubris.
Yeah.
And they don't see what's in front of them. The fact that time after time after time, the Jedi are presented with these with these evidence telling them that there are enemies in the galaxy plotting against them, and yet they just, oh, everything will be fine. All in the forces will, to use a real world term. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some people who have watched all of these same and absorbed all of these same media of Star Wars just don't seem to.
They don't get that.
They just don't seem to get it that the Jedi. The whole point of the prequels is showing that the Jedi are blinded by their own stupidity and their own. I don't want to use the word hubris again, but their own. I don't know. What's the word I'm thinking of, Dan? Tell me.
I don't know, but I know what you're getting at. Like they're blinded to anything different than what they see. There's no other view. And that's the problem that people have with this too, because, it's heavily implied that the witches created those twins out of the Force. Well, if you look even at watching Clone Wars, you understand that witches use the Force. We saw that in Ahsoka with the Night Sisters bringing back Thrawn. Their magic is part of the Force. It's just used in a different way. And then it was implied everybody has the Force in them. How they decide to use it is kind of up to them if they can even tap into it. And then I find it interesting in this last episode, and you both told me you watched it, so I'm going to say it, is that the stranger, because his name is not Khmer, right? He said, I don't have a name. And he's like, who are you? Well, I don't have a name, but you might call me Sith.
He said the Jedi might call me Sith.
He didn't say
he was a Sith. No.
That's what I got. Yeah, people are like the Sith. No. That's not what he said. You would call me this. He just said, I just want to be who I am and use my power how I want. So I think people are missing a lot of those holes in there. They're like, how can he, like you're saying with Ki-Adi-Mundi, how can he say that, the Sith haven't been seen in 1,000 generations or 1,000 years or whatever it was, because he didn't call himself a Sith. And he said, I'm looking for a pupil. He didn't say he was a master of the stuff, nor is it even implied that he has a master. Just that he uses the Force in a way that is not like.
And also, I mean, people also misunderstand the whole thing with Anakin is that they think that you have the people that believe that it was that Sidious created Anakin through the dark side of the Force, but in reality, the most likely thing is that Sidious was trying to create life with the dark side, and the Force itself countered by creating Anakin.
Yeah, maybe. So, I mean, I could sit here and talk with you about this all day, but we've already been a couple hours, so let's try to end this.
Yeah.
I think it's been a pretty decent show. I think it was slow. It was a slow start. I don't understand the hate for the third episode with the backstory, because I think the backstory lent a lot to the story as a whole, and explained a lot of things to me as like, okay, this is, it gave more credibility to the witches and to like enemies, like you said, enemies of the Jedi, not just the Sith. You're going to have people who don't like the way you're doing things.
Well, yeah, and that's the whole thing. The whole point of the High Republic books, just real fast, is that 100 or 200 years before the events of Acolyte, there's these group of people who are against the Jedi and how they use the Force. They believe in the Force, and they just believe the Force is something that's part of everybody, but they think that the Jedi using the Force is an abomination. And somehow all of this probably links back to that, since it is all part of the same thing. But then it also ties the thing about all of it with the twins, also ties back into Rise of Skywalker, when Palpatine referring to Dyad and the Force not being seen in generations, which the time of Acolyte is generations.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of places you could go, and I think it's going to have some major, I don't want to say changes, because that's not the right word, nor is effects. It's going to help you understand the expanded universe, what the current expanded universe, a lot more, or what they're doing in the stories. Because again, being under the one roof and having all these different shows, you're going to start seeing elements of them tie together. Like even the fact that he force healed her, and he's not dumb. He knows that's the sister.
And did you hear what played when he did that?
It wasn't it Kylo Ren's theme?
It was Kylo Ren's theme.
Yeah. So
And
the whole
you
thing is,
you notice what his whole look resembles is that of
it looks like Knights of Ren.
The Knights of Ren, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's where that leads. Who knows? There's a whole bunch of different possibilities, but it's good. So I think we'll go just wrap up. Anything?
Nope.
Michael, what you got going on, my friend? We haven't talked to you in a while.
Besides that horrible last Saturday at Disneyland, which that beat us pretty bad.
The heat.
Yeah, I mean we were going in and out of stores. We were in the academy for a while. Actually, the last time we had the podcast, we talked about Turtle Crush. I was like, my lady was also in the beginning when we got there. My daughter was like, we had a right time for Spider-Man, and my daughter's like, let's go in here, the academy, because they was already starting to get one. And so my daughter's just enjoying like the little cartoons every so often.
Yeah.
And so my lady looks like frustrated. So I'm like, the hell? Why? Like, it didn't make sense. Like, Spider-Man's not her favorite ride, so I don't know why she would like that. So I was like, I'm just gonna take my daughter. Just gonna Turtle Crush because Dan says so. And I ended up in the front. You know what I mean? Because they took the chairs pretty fast.
Yeah.
And then halfway, my daughter, I was like, "Are you sure?" Raising her hand, I was like, "Are you sure? You got a question?" She's like, "Yes." And then, sure enough, halfway, the guy goes to her, and she just don't say nothing, and everybody's just laughing, and they keep asking her, and then Crush goes,
He interacts, yeah.
Are you there? Like, are you okay? Are you in space? He was just clowning my daughter, and then that like right before the end, Crush is like, "What's your favorite color?" And she was just stuck. And then Crush was like, "Is it green?" He's like, "Green." And then he's like, how he gives that look like a shock in his eyes.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "All right, who's next?" I'm just died.
Well, did you see the video I posted where that kid asked him if he spoke Spanish, and he said, I do a little bit, but I don't remember any of it. And then, yeah. Then the kid asked him. He asked the kid, "What's your favorite word?" And the kid said, "I can't say it." And the crowd died. The crowd was just dead. He gave that shocked look, and then he said, "You just went there." It was.
I heard all the adults just busting up.
It was funny. So if you've never done Turtle Talk with Crush as an adult, it is actually worth it.
And if you're on Instagram and you like watch our Disney content every so often, you'll get those Crush videos, those quick shorts, and some of them are hilarious.
Yeah,
ask questions.
You will, and sometimes if you're on TikTok, you'll get a person who was a Crush. Like,
no way.
Yeah, you'll get every once in a while. You'll come across somebody who was, I was Crush at Turtle Talk, and I don't think I've ever seen one how they explain how they do it, but they'll talk about experiences that they had with the questions and stuff. And it's funny how you just come up with like, I got to come up with something to say, because it's live. It's live,
yeah.
Right? So it's improv.
I mean, those are entertainers. I mean, those are the kind of people that have to be good at improv.
Yeah,
so
and those are
the kind of people that they have to hire.
The last guy that we had, he was really good. Although he didn't sound as much like Crush as some of the other ones that I've had. That was our one complaint. It's like he sounded like Crush, but he kind of didn't at the same time, which is cool. You know what I mean? I know
like
what
a
it
ghetto
is.
Crush.
Yeah, not even like a ghetto Crush, just like you got Crush on Temu. You know what I mean? And it was like he almost had it. He almost had it. Like you're
Sounds like the one we had too.
Either that or like the regular ones on vacation, or you got a cold, because it's just not quite. It's not quite right. So it was pretty funny.
It's still a fun show though.
Yeah, no, it's still a fun show, and that, my friend, is why we only go at night during the summertime. You know this though, because those days can be brutal, just with all the waiting and stuff. And it makes you irritated to just have to wait in line, to do whatever, to go from one place to the other. And you're like me, like when I get hot, man, don't touch me. Don't touch me. My poor kids know that one too. Like, Dad, I put my hand on my shoulder. Don't freaking touch me. Why? Because I can't handle it. I cannot handle being touched.
But Diggs and I would always have our little processes on hot days. I'd walk in. He knew that we had to stop at the first popcorn stand so I can get a supply of napkins to put in my backpack for dabbing the sweat.
Yeah.
And then we would move a certain amount of distance before ducking in and taking breaks at places in the shade.
Yeah. You don't get me to go from the entrance to Toontown. That ain't gonna happen on a hot day.
Hell no. We go from the entrance to Tomorrowland. We spend a little bit of time there, and then we move on to another place, and then you got to take a little bit at a time.
Yeah. How much can I walk before I dip into a store?
Right.
Yeah, to go check out what they have.
Pretty much.
So. Well, I hope you have a better time the next time you go, man. When's the next time you going?
I don't know if it's in a week or two. I'm not really sure. I was supposed to go this Saturday, but I think I'm going to San Diego finally. Because my uncle's like better now, so I think I might take advantage of SeaWorld.
No, right.
Out of the zoo, not sure.
That's cool. I think I'm supposed to go next week. Like I said, I had a reservation yesterday actually that I had to move because I'm sick, and then I had one. If it wasn't being sick, unfortunately, I did something to my leg, so I'm kind of healed from that. And I have bad knees. I think you guys both know that. Sometimes it affects my leg if I move wrong, so I kind of got over that. So I think I got one next week on the 3rd, and then I have the one the week after, and then I have a Universal pass again. I've been meaning to take my kids, but then we all got sick. I even do Universal in the evening, man. Skipped it before 6 to get my free parking, and then it cools down a lot in the evening, and then they close at like 10. So like literally it's an hour from there to my door, so be home like by 11. That part's kind of cool. So hopefully getting a couple of trips from that. I feel like a lot of my vacation, quote unquote, summer break has been either planning something, because my daughter just graduated, or being sick, but I still realize I have a lot of time left. I got about a month and a half of vacation left. So I'll get some stuff in there, some park visits and stuff. But Anthony, anything else before we head on out of here?
No, that's it.
All right, gentlemen. Gina already left us because she had some. I don't know. She had something to do. I don't know what she's doing, but it's been a couple hours. Good to see you both. Yeah. Well, next week's the 4th, so maybe the week after that.
Yeah.
Give us some time to see what's going on. A couple more episodes of the Acolyte, and then we'll see what's going on. Let us know, man, what days your stuff are. We'll work around your stuff if you want to be back on. We'll work around your appointment days. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Like I said, Gina and I, we're on vacation, so we're pretty open, like for now until the beginning of August. So pretty flexible with times and stuff. So cool.
Right on. Let's do it.
All right, gentlemen. I'll talk to you both later then.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, man.
Bye.
Disney Culture is a part of the Extraordinary Culture podcast universe. Follow my Disney stuff on IG and YouTube at Dan's Disney Adventures. Follow my Disney stuff on TikTok at Danzig77. That's DANSZIG77. Thanks for listening. See you real soon.
See you real soon.